Hi, everybody. Welcome into today's show here on JTV. It is Wednesday. Thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency. I'm David. That's Adam. Also coming up later in the show, we're getting so close to the start of high school football season.
It's almost here.
2 weeks away.
Yep.
Can't believe it already. The temperature outside, though, definitely does not feel like it's 2 weeks away, though, from football weather.
Oh, yeah.
So, and we have a special guest doing the show with us today.
Yes, we do. Who do we got?
JTV sports commentator Max Fritz back with us. Thanks, Max.
Thanks for having me.
2 weeks away, man. Football.
It's
excited
crazy.
for it. We do have a few things to get to, though, before we talk high school football. Let's start with Tigers.
Can we not talk about the Tigers?
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that.
They're 5-5 in their last 10 games. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Phillies, 2 out of 3 to Minnesota, and have just been awful against the White Sox.
And a team that, in the White Sox, who were coming off one of the worst records in baseball, I mean, they've turned around a little bit this year, but I mean, to blow out the Tigers the way they have been and playing against them, it's not a good sign.
They're just historically bad. I mean, the Rockies are the next team now to be historically bad, but can Skubal pitch like every other day for us?
Dude,
please?
if we were in the 1850s, we'd be solid. We'd just have Skubal start every time.
And I get it to not get injured, but when Skubal's pitching, how could let him throw as many innings as he wants to? Because the last time we started, or the time before that, when it was on ESPN the Sunday night, he came out after at the end of the 6th or middle of the 7th, whatever. But you could tell he wanted to keep going. Mm-hmm. He could have kept going.
Everybody's just on a tight pitch count now. That's kind of the new thing.
And I get it, but the Tigers have just been so thin with the bullpen. Anybody really besides Skubal, that anytime it is a Skubal start, let him go.
Yeah. I mean, pitch management has really become insane from even 10 years ago. And again, I completely understand with the injuries and the new metrics, but when you have these young kids coming up already throwing like 100 out of high school,
right?
The arm longevity, sustainability is not going to be there. So you're sacrificing the long-term consistency for that brief hit of velocity, which is good in the moment, but not long-term.
Yeah, even some pitchers here in high school games are throwing 90 to 100 pitches. Softball, most of the time they only use one pitcher for the game, so they throw 100 pitches. So I just, he's the Cy Young winner, should be again.
Yeah.
He's the best pitcher in baseball. Let the man play. That's all.
Yeah, I look at it as these people know more than me. So as much as I would like that to happen, I understand why they're doing this.
Oh, and I do.
It
It's
goes
not like
to
I
every
don't.
player.
Right.
That's every player. You're not. Nobody's Greg Maddux anymore, where they're doing all these complete game shutouts and stuff like that. It's tough to do that now. And that's why the most unbreakable record in sports is Cy Young's. I think he has 511 career wins. Like, no one's ever going to touch that.
The one hill that I will die on, though, with baseball stats is the fact that it is a complete mockery now to throw a no-hitter. I don't like the combined no-hitter stat.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
It is. Like, if you're going to throw a no-hitter, leave the guy out there, let him do it. I don't like the whole, we threw a no-hitter, but it took 5 pitchers.
Right. It's like Johan Santana in, I forgot what year this would have been, like 06 or 07 or something like that. I'm pretty sure he had like a no-hitter. They just kept him in, and he was like 145 pitches. But he finished it off and he won it, and it was amazing. Yeah, and he survived.
145.
Isn't that nuts?
Could you imagine somebody now throwing 145
Dude, never.
pitches?
It would never.
They would cart him out on a stretcher.
And Santana was like a flamethrower fastball pitcher, so it's like he was throwing heavy fastballs in that game, and they still just kept him in. So yeah.
Right. Also, before we get to football talk in a few minutes, kind of football talk, but NFL preseason started last week. Scary injury in the Lions-Falcons game for Maurice Norris, so prayers to him.
Yeah, they stopped the game, which was a big surprise.
They ended up suspending.
Yeah, so, I mean, but good for them. No one wants to play preseason after that. And I think they learned from the Hamlin situation to be like, all right, we need to, NFL's being a little bit more protective of their players, which is good. Never used to be like that. Like I watched an old highlight film from, I think it was the 80s or the 70s, and every play that was in that highlight film would be illegal today, and the player would be kicked out. And that was them. That was their promotional product.
Banned from the league forever.
Yeah, seriously.
For that kind of
Seriously.
So the Packers got handled by the Jets.
I saw
Justin Fields.
I was at MGM and I saw a little bit of it when I was at the sports book.
They lost
and it
by
wasn't
over
looking good
3
for them.
possessions.
Yeah, it wasn't looking good for Green Bay.
Donovan Edwards is running back 4 for the Jets.
No way, really?
He scored 2 touchdowns against
Let's
Green
go.
Bay.
Let's go. That's sick to see him play. I hope he gets to have some reps in the regular season,
For sure, because he got undrafted.
Yeah.
Which I was still surprised by. I know he fell off after.
He had unfortunately
year,
a bad season last year. I feel like
because nobody expected Mullings to.
No, but so to go undrafted though, I mean,
still,
yeah.
There's some guys that went undrafted that's just insane. But that's a
if
testament to how
Shiloh
deep
Sanders,
the draft
not
is.
Shadur, if Shiloh Sanders can get drafted,
Who did he get drafted by?
Tampa, 7th round.
Oh boy. And they passed on Micah Kretzinger and they picked Shiloh.
Yeah,
what are we doing?
exactly. They pass up on our Jackson guy.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
For sure.
Well, I know my 2 for fantasy football coming up. It's going to be Shadur at quarterback and Shiloh.
Feel free.
no.
Feel free, man. Feel free to do
Well,
that.
Shadur, I just saw something this morning. He has an oblique injury.
Really?
Oh, does he?
So-
Shadur or Shiloh? Who'd you say? I'm
Shadur.
sorry. Shadur, okay. I was watching a thing and they were listing like each division's, like they're ranking the divisions based on the quarterbacks, and they put Shadur in there for Cleveland, and it's like he's not going to start.
It hasn't been decided at all. He's like 4. I mean,
Yeah,
right now,
he's 4th in the.
Joe
in the,
Flacco is the starter right
Yeah.
now.
Right. So it's him, but they got me because we're talking about it. So
I think eventually he'll play at some point this season because we talked about it. Maybe you brought it up, but I can't remember. But we said at some point in the season, the fans and the media is going to be too much, and they're going to have to throw him out there and crumble to the pressure.
And the reason I said that before was because, like, if you remember the Baker Mayfield situation, like, Baker was backup to Tyrod Taylor, and Tyrod Taylor was one of those, like, capable backups when he was a backup. Even when he started for Buffalo, his record was not that bad, but it was just the pressure that everybody wanted to see the number 1 overall pick. It's a little different because of the number 1 overall, but still, I feel like that pressure's going to come.
Well, he's been getting enough hype.
Yeah. You might as well see him. He had a good preseason game. I will say that. I think he was like 9 for 12 with 2 touchdowns, 190 yards.
Yeah, but this year's number 1 pick, though, nobody's been talking about him. Cam Ward.
And he might be a beast. Like, he might be a beast. Look out for him for
He's
fantasy.
a hell of a player. He's got a great arm. He was great at Miami. He was a Heisman candidate. And it's like the least talked about number 1 draft pick in a long time.
Yeah, and
it's ridiculous.
In terms of number 2, I think Travis Hunter will be an interesting.
He did play
study
both
to
sides
see.
of the ball in the first preseason.
Oh, he did? I was wondering if they were going to do that. We'll see. We'll see.
And speaking of back to the Packers, Jordan Love is having a procedure on a torn ligament in his thumb on his throwing hand. Should be ready by week 1 against the Lions. Should.
Who's your backup for Love again?
Malik Willis.
Okay.
Speaking of the Titans.
Yeah, we talked about this before the show that Malik Willis was 4-0 when he played last year, and we talked about it on the podcast back then. He looked pretty good, but like I just told you, with Josh Jacobs running the ball, and you could just hand him the rock every time, and I'd feel comfortable with it.
Well, even if Jordan Love's starting, I think we're gonna have to run the ball anyways because our injuries have piled up.
Yeah.
Christian Watson is already on the PUP list.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody calls it PUP.
I think so. Yeah.
PUP.
Yeah.
Whatever. But no, he's hurt. Matthew Golden, the draft pick in the first round, had something. And now Romeo Dobbs and Wicks and Reed are all hurt. This could be really, really bad.
You're starting to look like the Lions with these injuries.
Yeah.
Well, and that kind of brings. I want to ask Max this. So, like, what do you think? What's your outlook on the Lions this year? What do you think? Do you think they're with replacing these coordinators? And I asked Josh the same thing. Replacement of the coordinators is a big deal. Do you think we are going to be kind of around the same, less wins? What do you think we're looking at?
It's tricky. You know, I had a better outlook going in before preseason, even though I know preseason's preseason, but just kind of watching how they played, even with like the backups. I do think getting Aiden Hutchinson back is going to be a huge win, and the fact that we didn't lose too many key players, that will be good in the locker room to keep the morale up and the grit that Dan Campbell talks about.
That's right.
I think that will help, but I still think it's going to be 1 or 2 wins less than this season.
Yeah, and we have a tough schedule.
Yeah.
When you look at our schedule, we're facing a lot of good teams. Like, I'm pretty sure Baltimore, maybe Kansas City, I can't remember, but there's some top-tier teams.
We've got a tough schedule, too. Green Bay does. They've got the Ravens, Eagles,
so we
Washington.
We'll have the same schedule as you guys.
And the Lions twice.
Yeah, that's right. That is a tough game. I'm glad that you actually said that.
We got our ass kicked, too, both times.
Yes, you did. Yeah. Yes, you did.
So, John Gruden back in the news.
Yeah, what's going on here? Because you're going to have to fill me in on this, because I did not look at this news story.
Of course, John Gruden got fired a couple years ago from the Raiders for the email situation.
Right. And now he's on Barstool, which he's amazing on, by the way.
Yes. He wants better execution.
That's right.
No, but John Gruden's he won the lawsuit in the court battle with the state of Nevada. Gruden's comments came a day after the Nevada Supreme Court sided with him in the lawsuit alleging the NFL leaked the emails trying to damage his reputation to the media and everybody else before he was forced to resign in October 2021. It was a 5-2 ruling. Justices did not determine whether the league had accidentally or intentionally leaked his emails. But they said the target of his civil lawsuit was, quote, unconscionable. I think that's how you say that. I wasn't very smart in school. An NFL spokesperson said Tuesday the league would petition the ruling. So the NFL is going to appeal this ruling.
Yeah.
And if they don't want to keep it in the Nevada Supreme Court, this case is going to go next to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Wow.
My thing, though, is who's even going to hire him? If he does, like, let's say he does get past the court system and he is eligible.
Yeah.
What team is going to want to have that black mark on their coach, even if he is a great coach? Of course, Cleveland probably will hire him because they seem like they're going to take anybody.
They need the help.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I wonder if that's going to really hurt his stock.
Yeah, I think with players, maybe it's a little different.
Yeah.
We saw guys like Mike Vick and stuff sometimes come back.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
We saw with all the controversies that Aaron Rodgers had, we talked about a lot of that in the offseason. He still came back. But but then you had the Kaepernick situation. But I think with the coach, it might be a little different. We'll see. Every team gets desperate.
Yeah.
So at one point, a team's going to look at him and be like, he's a Super Bowl winning coach.
Well, I don't know if this is a good example, but an example of a coach, though, coming back after a scandal. The 1-year Urban Meyer coach in the NFL, remember? He had to resign from Ohio State, and then he came back and coached Jacksonville.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Thank you, Max. Yeah, he was.
They won
real
2
bad.
games that year.
Yeah, but then what happened?
Yeah.
Then he got fired again.
Yeah. I was at that town that I'm not going to mention down south for a concert, and I went to his bar down there, and it was like the day after that news broke. And it was just it had a weird feeling.
Did they kick you out?
No, because I made sure not to wear anything Michigan, just to be sure. I didn't want to get beaten up while I was down there. But
Well, I still would have worn my Michigan jersey anyways.
Good luck down there.
Yeah, but you know how many times I've gone to a Lions game with a Packers jersey on all the Lions Packers games. I know
different.
Ohio State's different.
Yeah, it is.
But I've been to one Michigan State game in East Lansing.
Yeah.
Night game in that environment.
That'd be fun. Mm-hmm. That's a fun game. It's something about that place with being a Michigan fan and vice versa, right? You come up here to Ann Arbor, you're not going to have a fun time, especially these last couple times. But.
Yeah. So we'll see. Although some of the media asked him earlier this week about his coaching future, he said he does want to come back to coaching, and he said he would die to be a coach in the SEC.
I feel like he would have more chance in college than he would in the NFL. It'd be the default is always, Vanderbilt will hire him, but again, Vanderbilt's actually doing well. So I mean, I could see like you turn around Mississippi State maybe.
Yeah, but even like some of the if he does want to be an SEC, it's gonna have to be a lower tier school. I doubt but that's the thing. Like if he doesn't go in the SEC, there's gonna be a lot of schools that might be willing to take him.
I mean,
Brett Venables won't have a job next year, and neither will Lane Kiffin.
There
maybe,
you go.
So,
and if Caleb DeVore loses 2 more games, he's out at Alabama.
There you go.
Could you imagine John Gruden at Alabama?
Hilarious.
Yeah. You go from Bear Bryant, Nick Saban, not somebody in between, but and then Kalen DeBoer, Nick Saban. Not Nick Saban, John Gruden.
John Gruden.
The second incarnation of Nick Saban.
Yeah,
interesting.
That would be something. I don't think he'll coach again anywhere, though.
Yeah.
Just because people and the way cancel culture is now.
Well, we saw Teddy Bridgewater get canceled for the things he was doing coaching, which is beneficial. And
then going back to the Harbaugh thing with the cheeseburger, buying a cheeseburger for somebody, like it's just some of those rules are crazy, but that's the NCAA, and it's just funny that while that's going on, there's actual corruptness going on in it. It's bizarre.
Well, real quick, UFC.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that real quick.
New TV deal with CBS and Paramount.
Yeah.
It will no longer be pay-per-view on ESPN
Thank goodness.
Plus. The 13 marquee events and the 30 fight nights will all be between CBS and all on Paramount Plus. So you don't have to pay an extra additional price.
$60 for a pay-per-view like it used to be. And then WWE is doing something similar with they have a deal with ESPN Plus, or some version of ESPN where it's going to be like $30 a month, but you get access to the pay-per-views. So they're owned by the same company, so they probably worked out that deal together. But I'm happy to see them become a little bit more accessible. I think pay-per-views are kind of going the way of the dodo. They're going to be gone after a few more years, especially with streaming.
Well, and a bunch of people either already have ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
So they shouldn't have to pay the extra,
right?
Or they stream it illegally.
Yeah, but this sort of thing, like with Paramount, like this is going to prevent. Dana White's big thing was stopping piracy, and you're not going to do it when your pay-per-view. You're not going to pay $50 a month to watch the pay-per-view or $60 and pay for like UFC Fight Pass that they had their own streaming service for like $12 a month. You're not going to pay $70 a month for this stuff when you can easily just go onto a site. But something like this, where it's all included, that makes a lot more sense. And I think more people are going to do it because it's more convenient.
Right. USA's 250th birthday next year. They're going to have a UFC event at the White House next year.
I'm so excited for that.
With invited guests only.
I'm excited for that.
On CBS.
I think it's going to be cool.
That'll be a cool setting.
It'll look really cool.
Will
I want
John
them to do
Jones come out of
a retirement? I don't know, man. Dana wants that to happen, but John, I think, is
not gonna happen.
Well, John's cognizant of his age, and he knows that, like, hey, I'm not going to be that guy like a Chuck Liddell or somebody who comes out of retirement 3 or 4 times and just comes out of retirement to get a bag and lose. Like, he wants to retire on top. So I get it.
Right. All right. When we come back, we will continue our preseason Football Media Day interviews. We'll have the head coach from Michigan Center, Troy Allen, after this. David Rice here for JTV Sports as we continue our 2025 JTV Football Media Day coverage. Thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency. Joining the show now, head coach of the Michigan Center Cardinals, Troy Allen. Coach, appreciate the time. 4-5 last year, lost by 1 to Hanover, lost by 2 to Leslie. You beat Grass Lake, one of Center's biggest rivals, but only losing by 1 and 2 to the 2 teams that made the Cascades Championship. I know 4-5 isn't what you wanted, but just overall quick thoughts on last season.
Yeah, I think, as you mentioned that, it haunts me a little bit, but I think what it does is it makes you a little bit more. You try not to be this way, but you think of the what ifs. Really close. Kind of had some unfortunate injuries in both those games that I think changed the dynamics. But with that being said, they were 2 really good football teams. But I think it showed that we could have been really good too if maybe some things had worked out a little differently, and it didn't. And I've been there and done that. I've been very fortunate to have injury-free seasons, and then you get a tough one like last year. But on the positive, it forces some kids that maybe weren't prepared at that moment to get a little more opportunity, and it helps grow the future of the program. So I think if there's anything real positive to take out of last year, it's that we have some kids that got a ton of experience that are coming back.
How are the numbers looking?
The numbers are pretty good. We're generally 30 on varsity. We'll have 31 on our JV. A couple kids that'll maybe get sprinkled a little bit of time, but I think 30 players, and I'd say of that 30, it's a very strong number that'll be contributors. So.
You had, as you mentioned, quite a few, because of some of the injuries, quite a few kids who sprinkled in some playing time, especially towards the end of the year. But with the entire offensive line coming back, though, 7 to 8 on both sides, that's going to feel pretty good for you and the coaching staff, right, coming into this season.
Absolutely, because I think one thing at Michigan Center, I've been fortunate, as a head coach, but even, when I was assistant to JV coaches, we've always had skill players. We just always have. Up front has been a little bit more of an issue. So to kind of see that as one of the strengths of this year's team is really nice, because, when it's all said and done, that is what either leads to success or not, is how does that pan out?
Right. Each team might have a few guys coming back each year, but each team and each year is different. Mm-hmm. What's it been like working with these guys so far in this group?
Well, the thing that I really enjoy about this group is that it's rare you find, somebody that's super passionate about football, loves the game. You just don't always find, the kids that feel the same way. The more kids you have that match that and feel strongly about it is a good thing. And this is just a very passionate group that wants to be successful. I think one of the flaws of this group, which can be a positive, is that they're just so competitive. They're almost overly competitive with themselves at times, which can struggle to kind of build that team. That's our focus. But I definitely love the vibe. I love our senior leadership. I think that's what helps with your success. A lot of times falls on what your senior class look like from a leadership standpoint, experience. And that's one thing that is going to be really nice for us. We got a very large senior class, and they all care, and they want to be successful, and they're hungry.
So as we were, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but about the injuries last season, that was a big topic on this show, because we were like, this team is really good, but it's just they're getting hit with the injury bug. Yeah. What do you think, what have you guys done, or is there a way to prepare for something like this, or to try to find a way to prevent injuries like this happening?
Honestly, for last season, no, it was just one of those things. I wouldn't really change a whole lot. There was when our quarterback got hurt, it was a called run play, and we just didn't make the block, and a kid, grabbed him from behind, pulled him down. But that's just a football play, and the same with our linemen the next week. Sometimes, like I've had. There's a year a kid in 7-on-7, he probably shouldn't have been in there, and was in there and ends up breaking his collarbone, and that was super frustrating. But last season it just was one of those things where it just, we just ran into a little stretch of bad luck, but it's kind of just football,
Right, I was gonna say, I mean, that's the game, is that that kind of thing can happen.
Sure. Yeah.
But where do you think, going into this year compared to last year's team, where do you think you've improved the most as a team?
Oh, that's a good question. It just seems like everything is running so much smoother. Kids understand the expectation was always there. It's just, I think that we're just ahead of schedule. They know what our expectations are, what we're asking for, and just things seem to we're getting a lot more accomplished in our time, just because we've spent so much time together and we know each other. So.
Also, I know Adam's normally been asking this question.
Yeah, go ahead.
But we've asked everybody so far, favorite football player of all time, or favorite NFL player of all time.
Oh, that's easy for me. I would give anything to sit down on a Sunday and watch Barry Sanders run the football. Just he's so electric. I'm a former running back, and so I just think that they don't make. There's a lot of great running backs, but they just don't make Barry Sanders type players very often. So he'll always be special to me. And what's awesome about it is he was a Lion.
Yeah.
So I got to be here in Michigan and just I got to wear the jersey and go to the games and just loved watching them.
And for the people that it's crazy that people can grow up watching Barry Sanders and then they get Calvin Johnson later in life because my generation is Calvin Johnson. That's when I kind of started to fall in love with football, just being able to throw it up to him. He's just going to go up there and get it.
Absolutely, yes. There's some good ones.
Yeah.
Now it's just about getting my son who is 16 to. He's not 16 yet. I guess I'm rushing it. He's 15, but just getting him to. Hey, let's watch some YouTube. Let's watch some real football.
Yeah.
Let's watch a real running back.
And I feel like Barry Sanders is that guy because you even hear Jahmyr Gibbs talks about he didn't grow up a Lions fan, but he grew up a Barry Sanders fan. Just watched those highlights constantly, and it's that. I feel is one player that does translate to modern day football, where it's just you won't see anything like this in the modern day league. It's really cool.
Absolutely.
So you guys are going to be taking on Onsted week 1, first meeting between the two schools since 2015. How you guys have opened the season against Lumen the last couple of years.
Yep.
How did Onsted come about now to being the new week 1 opponent?
It was kind of one of those things where with Lumen and Herb and the AD, we just really never communicated about do we want to continue this. I wasn't opposed to it, but I will be honest, it really led to some great off-season because you're going against a possible state champion and the previous state champion. So you were definitely going to get the kids were buying in, but them being, they bumped up to Division 6, but they're still, population-wise at Division 7.
Right.
And we're up to 5, so it just became less of a benefit for us.
Especially now with how the points are.
Yeah. So I think I just kind of fell off, honestly. And then it's just about searching. We searched. AD at Onsted he was I coached, it was Damian Hiram, who was a head coach at Michigan Center, and I was his JV coach when he was the head coach. So know Damian and just kind of reached out and caught him at a good time where they were in between and, just kind of worked it out. It's a change. They're a Division 6 school. So, we had to make sure we got somebody with a little bit, but I could tell you when we reached out, there was not a lot of options. And if there was anybody available at the time that we were reaching out, it was probably for all the wrong reasons. People just, they were available because nobody wanted them. So,
Yeah.
But we're excited for it.
What's it going to be? Will be the key to getting your guys ready to open the season, start 1-0?
I just think just being clean. We just got to just make sure that we're, all the little things. I mean, we're going to play. We got skill. We're going to be able to do some awesome things, but it's just avoiding a horrible second quarter or, coming out and, just giving up a big play and seeing how the kids, react to it. So, one thing I noticed even in a 7-on-7 recently was we played amazing first 2 games. The third game we should have been, it should have been very, fortunate for us and we just dropped an egg and we just looked flat. So, the same kind of thing carries over. Can you play 4 good quarters of football? Which is hard early on, but I think this group's capable of it, so that'll be our expectation.
Michigan Center opening the season against Onsted. Head coach Troy Allen for the Cardinals. Coach, thank you.
No, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Welcome back here on JTV. Thank you to Michigan Center head coach Troy Allen, entering his 13th year with the Cardinals. Thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency. JTV sports commentator Max Fritz still with us. First, before we talk high school football, congrats on the new teaching job.
Thank you.
excited to be back in the classroom coming up? It's already coming up quick.
It's here. It's funny that, trying to schedule me to keep come on this show was difficult with everything I've got going on with professional development and getting my new classroom ready, because I moved from Williamston, now teaching at Holt. Still doing second grade, but trying to set up a classroom and get everything around, not even wrapping my head around the curriculum yet, is been insane.
Yeah. So last year was your first full season with JTV Sports. What was that like for you? Just kind of quick thoughts and reflection on last football season, baseball season. Had a good year last year.
Yeah, it was a whirlwind for sure, but it was amazingly fun. To get that experience of being on the sideline for sideline reporting for JTV was phenomenal. I'm glad I get to do it again this year for football. I think it just gives that extra perspective when you're watching to kind of get those insights down in the field, which I love that I can do. Baseball was amazing, as that's my favorite sport to cover, and we were very fortunate with some of the games that we got to cover over the past year with some crazy outcomes. And just, all the sports that I was able to do, baseball, hockey, football, I'm forgetting one.
Baseball, football, hockey, basketball.
Basketball,
yeah,
basketball,
go.
yep, as well.
There you go.
Just so amazingly fun, and it's been, I can't wait for this year to start. I've taken on a advertising role as well with JTV now on the marketing side, and it's been so fun. I was just on the Bar Holly show for Big Brothers Big Sisters, promoting that. Like, everything I've been able to do has been awesome, and I'm so excited to continue that in the future with JTV.
Well, we have our first 3 games here for football season. First, Jackson High at Western. That is going to be it's 2 of the 3 biggest schools in the area. So it's going to be a big crowd, and it's going to be a good game. And both teams, it's going to be an interesting matchup.
I'm excited for it.
Both teams lost a lot of weapons from last year. So both teams are really they're both big question marks.
Yeah.
We don't know how they're going to do this year. So we'll find out right away week 1. This is a really good game that I'm excited to start off with.
We'll do game picks, obviously, as we're getting closer the week before or the week of. But I just want to ask, early predictions. Do you have a favorite in that game, either of you?
Well, I'd say, Western's got their new coach. What was his name again?
Cody Bentley.
And I interviewed him at the Al Glick football camp over the summer, and he seems like an amazing guy.
Yeah,
I feel
he's
like
awesome.
he's going to take that program in a good direction. So if the guys can get behind him before week 1, which I'm sure they can with his infectious personality, I would assume I'm going to go out on a limb and say Western's actually going to beat Jackson by at least 2 scores.
Hey, I like that.
That's a bold prediction to start.
Well, we just had Coach Bentley on the show last week, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
last week from Media Day.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
JTV.tv.
Yeah,
For those
there you go.
Didn't watch it.
What's your early predictions here?
Yeah, don't get out of it.
Yeah, I know. I was just trying to get him right back. I know what you were trying to do, David.
I mean...
And this can change, before, but what's your... Because you might get more info.
It probably will
Yeah, you might get
change.
more info, but... I think, personally, I think both... I think it will be a close game. I think turnovers could make the difference.
I'm going to go Western close game.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson High had some turnover problems.
Yep.
And, those kinds of issues last year, especially that back half of the year where they lost the last 5.
Yeah.
They looked so good to start the year.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Parma Western.
All right.
Week 1 to start 1-0.
All
Close
right.
game, though. I think it'll be a good game.
Yeah, I think it'll be a very good game. I might give the slight edge to Jackson now that I'm thinking about it.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Now that I'm thinking about it, I might give a slight edge to Jackson.
You don't want to wear that Packers jersey at the end of the year.
I know. But we'll see. Who knows? Maybe it'll change as we get closer.
Yeah, and then we've got Columbia Central at Michigan Center, week 2. That's going to be
Another
big
one that
game.
I'm excited for.
Columbia's another team to me with the question marks. Like, were a decent team last year, but they finished 3-6. But 4 of their games they lost by single-digit points, so they just can't get over that hump and finish the close game. They played Napoleon twice. Napoleon had a good year too. Very surprised because of what they did the year before and lost a lot of those players. But then he moved to the full house tee.
Yeah.
But Columbia lost to Napoleon by 9 week 2, and then they lost to them again week 9, the crossover by 5. So,
Well, to me, it's like they had the inverse season of Jackson, right? Jackson started off hot and then just cooled off towards the end. Napoleon kind of put it all together late, and ended up being a really good team at the very end of the year. What was it, the last game we did where they beat Grass Lake, and they just controlled that game. It was just perfect way to show what that offense can do.
Well, if you guys remember, they had the ball almost the entire
They did.
fourth quarter.
Yeah.
They full house teed the
That
clock.
style of play,
Yeah.
they could just easily run it down.
Yep. And then we've got Lumen at home week 3 on JTV taking on Grand Rapids Catholic Central. So Lumen, a gauntlet of
It's
a schedule
tough.
to
Yeah.
start the year. Week 1 at Montini Catholic in Illinois. That's west of Chicago. They're the defending Illinois state champ. Week 2, D5 champ from last year, Lumen's Division 6 champ. D5 champ Pontiac Notre Dame Prep. But those two teams played last year. Lumen was winning in the fourth quarter, and Pontiac scored 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and beat them. That's going to be an amazing game. And then D5, who made the semis, Grand Rapids Catholic Central, week 3. We'll have that on JTV.
What a crazy line of games that they have. I mean, unbelievable. I just hope, this is the team. I know we talk about this every year, but with how many guys they've lost, it's going to be a tough climb. But if there's a team that can do it, it's them.
So, because they have 1 starter coming back out of 11. So, 1 coming back and only a couple on defense. So, Lumen's got a gauntlet of a schedule, and we've got 2 new head coaches in our area. Cody Bentley from Western. Amazing dude. Shout out to him. All the success for them this year. But he already was with the program, though, as the defensive coordinator. So, I got to feel like that's make things so much easier.
Yeah.
For them.
The guys know him. It's an easier transition. They already know his voice. They know what he plays like and acts like.
Yep. Anything specific or just anything in general you're looking forward to with football season coming up?
Just again to get out there and
The environment.
the environment, and I experimented a lot with, because last year was the first year JTV ever did sideline reporting, and it was my first time on the sideline, so I feel like it was pretty new for me. Now I feel like I was able to kind of hone it in. I did experiment a lot with my interviews that I did, like with the band, cheerleaders, and everything like that. I want to expand on that this year, get different looks, try to, and I know with their technology sometimes it's limited. Like I would love to go over to the food truck and experience what they got going on there, but our receivers sometimes can't go that far.
Noah brought that up the other day.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Going to food trucks, in general, or Max going over
like the
there?
concession stand.
Yeah, I love that.
Although Western does usually have 1 or 2 food trucks.
Yeah, their concession game is pretty good at Western, I gotta say.
Anywhere I can potentially get free food, I will go.
Oh, I'm with you on that. Man.
Well, and then I told Noah, I said the Big Tent at Lumen where they have like the special hot dogs.
Yeah.
Me and you before the game, if they can record it.
Hot dog eating contest.
No, we'll just review. We'll just do a food review.
All right,
I like that. Like I said, I've said in the past, I want David Rice to review every hot dog from every concession stand. I want to make a tier list of every single one because there's some that are really, really good.
And there I've had a few that are not.
Michigan Center, another place that has good concessions, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I would love to do like a concession thing. I just remember last year.
That'd be so fun.
What's another one? Lumen's got a good one.
Yeah.
Western.
Yeah.
Grass Lake's got decent concessions.
The only one I've done is the only one I've had is for basketball. But you're right, their concession game is really good.
Hanover Horton is good for the press box at least, because isn't that the one that gives us pizza?
Oh, that's Western.
That's Western,
which is awesome because that's week 1.
Drinks,
we'll be getting
food.
Normally it's Burkhart's and you can't beat them.
Yep.
So
Burkhart's is really good.
Yeah.
Too,
Oh, yeah.
So I think I'm trying to think. There's one, and I couldn't find it last year. I know they have one food truck at Western, but I think it's on the opposite, the away side.
And that's something I wish that I guess our receivers were more strong for, is that I would love to be able to go on to the away side as well and get content from the away team. Mm-hmm. But with how our receivers are, if I did do a hit from that side, it would be too far away from the press box.
Some new wireless stuff though. So
we do.
That's good.
We'll see how that works. Yeah.
Maybe worth where Western's concession is at in the corner.
Yeah.
All the way over there.
That'd be something to test.
Work. I also want
Let's go down to Max.
I also want to make sure I can run across the field during play at one time just to disrupt everything.
Perfect. Go out there and catch an interception.
Yeah, exactly.
Rip off your earpiece and your mic pack.
Yeah. Make a
throw off the hat.
one-handed catch. Do it up.
Yeah. Do what is Santonio Holmes back then?
Yeah, there you
Tiptoe
go.
catch.
Yeah.
I guess I will say my one goal this year is to stay as far away from that dang train horn as possible.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but now that you did.
That's my goal. I also am going to try to not get hit this year. I didn't really get taken out last year, but I came this close to getting taken out by players.
There were a couple times where the play's down there and then you're standing there and you get hit. And I'm like, he didn't get hurt, but is he okay?
Yeah, it's that full coverage, full contact coverage.
I love it.
All right, we got to take a quick break. We will continue with Max Fritz and do a few other headlines when we come back. Welcome back here on JTV. Thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency. Adam always tries these random quizzes on me.
Great.
And we've done it the last couple shows.
Yep.
And now that you're here, we have a couple. First,
yes.
Before we get to that, high school sports officially begin this week. Woo. Monday when it hit midnight, teams had their midnight practice. We have a couple of teams we shared some posts from on JTV Sports Facebook. But girls golf has their first competition this Friday, and then soccer and a few other sports next Tuesday the 19th. So just a few days away.
Let's go.
Subscribe to JTV Sports while you're at it. Go to our website, jtv.tv, hit the subscribe button, fill out the little form, and you can do more than one school, too. And you can even do Jackson College and Spring Arbor University, too. So subscribe. Yep. For how much?
Free $99.
Free $99. All right, now let's get to your quiz you have.
All righty. So, boys, are you ready?
No.
Here we go. All right, perfect. Great. I love confidence. Most 100-yard receiving games since 2016. So we're looking for players, wide receivers.
Julio Jones.
Oh, wow. He's on the list.
Okay.
He's 7th.
Okay.
And you're looking for the top 5.
I got on the board.
That was good. That was
okay, I was going to ask, are we doing top 5
We're just going to do top 5 here.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, at least I made the board.
Yeah, that's not
my
bad.
one shining moment.
So got Julio. He had 31, by the way. That's ridiculous.
Trying to think of everyone who I didn't put on my fantasy team because they didn't at all get their numbers.
Antonio Brown?
Antonio Brown not on the list, but you should
Amon-Ra.
Amon-Ra not on the list, and it's mainly because since 2016, so he just hadn't. This is a little bit older of a list, but you personally should get the number 1.
It's gonna be a Packer.
Devontae Adams.
Crazy. Devontae Adams, number 1 with 44 100-yard
Please
receiving
come back
games.
to Green Bay. We need you.
That ain't happening, dude. You can keep praying, but it ain't gonna happen. One of these guys has a nickname for very fast animal.
Tyreek Hill?
Tyreek Hill, Cheetah, is number 2 with 36. So between 1 and 2, 44 and 36.
Gronk wouldn't have been on there, would he?
No, that would have been towards the end of his career. But that was still a good one. This next guy is arguably the best receiver in the league. Like, I don't even think arguably. He's just the best receiver in the league right now.
Give me a team and I'll have a chance.
If I give you the team, it'll be
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson. So Jeffy has 34, and he's tied with 2 other guys with 34.
I'll let you take the next guess.
Because
I'm just stealing all these answers
I don't know it.
No, this other guy was a former teammate of his. Very, very good receiver. Maybe he isn't as good right now, but he was one of the top receivers in the league. He made a miracle catch in a playoff game against New Orleans.
I can see that play. I just can't remember what his name is.
So he was a former Viking.
Yeah,
I know it, but I'm seeing if you can.
I can picture the play.
You're close.
Vividly,
Yeah.
But I can't remember.
One of the most famous plays in NFL history.
Not Ridley. I don't know.
What do you got, David?
Stefan,
Oh, Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Yep.
who was dating Cardi B. Maybe they broke up already. I don't know.
Are you serious? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they're dating.
Are you TMZ? What is going on here? I had no idea.
Yes, I am.
Oh,
Didn't know you were up on that.
shoot.
And I'm also NBA Centel.
Oh my gosh. All right. Last one. He's fourth on this list, tied with Jefferson and Diggs. He, a former Detroit Lion quarterback, is really good buddies with this guy. Is that a good hint there?
Stafford was
Oh.
friends.
Who's he
with-
really?
Throw to a lot.
Who? Yeah. Who?
Well, I
did
already
he
said
throw
Calvin
to?
Johnson before we even started.
Yeah,
He said he
no,
wasn't on
not
the list,
Calvin.
but
This guy is. I'm just gonna say it. This guy's a white guy.
Laporte. No.
White guy.
Think. LA.
That really narrows
Oh,
it down
Cooper
for
Kupp.
me.
Yeah.
Hey!
He's got it. Cooper Kupp.
Look
I mean,
at
it really
that.
narrowed it down.
Hey, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Once you
Yeah.
said white guy,
Yeah, I thought we were
All
going
right.
to be saying Edelman, Wes Welker, all those guys, but that's the top five. So Devontae Adams with 44,
Gronk.
Oh, okay,
then
yeah.
Tyreek Hill with 36. So big leap between those two, and then Jefferson, Kupp, and Diggs on that.
do you
list.
have the 6 through 10? He said Julio, who's number 7.
Julio's 7?
Okay.
DeAndre Hopkins, because man, he was a beast. He's one of my favorite receivers of all time. He was 6 with 31, and then Mike Evans. And you forgot? Anybody forget about Amari Cooper? I kind of forgot Amari Cooper exists.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper on that list as well. So,
Who does he play for now?
who he play for?
Yeah, exactly.
I actually don't. I
He
don't
plays
remember.
for the
He was Browns
free
at one
agency
point.
portal.
Yeah, he was Browns at one point. So maybe he's on the Browns now, or is
He
he
did
still?
play for the Raiders. That was before.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then he played for the Browns.
Did he go? Oh wait, no, yeah.
I'm gonna try to look this up
I don't
because
remember this. I don't know. This is
So the one
Honest-
trivia game has turned into another trivia game.
Buffalo Bills.
Oh,
Buffalo Bills, which I am kind of surprised by. I don't remember that at all, but that's what
he
happens.
played for him last year.
I
Yeah.
know, but like that's what happens sometimes. Some of these players move around so much that it's like I forget what team they're on. Like, do you remember what team DeAndre Hopkins currently plays for?
Cardinals.
No, which I remember him on the Cardinals, but it's crazy. He plays for the Ravens now. So these players all over the place. I need to refresh myself before going into fantasy,
Yeah.
where our league is going to be drafting soon. I'm just going to say that it's a lot of fantasy discussion.
I'll be making sure the bottom is freshly covered,
Yeah,
so no one
no-
has to worry about
no
being
problem.
down there. I'm gonna take that sacrifice.
I'll give you a little hint of advice. Do not draft Justin Tucker. That's all I'll say. Just don't take Justin Tucker.
No, I
You'll be
took it.
fine.
Was it the kicker I took?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he did amazing. So yeah.
Well, yeah. I wouldn't say no.
Well, he's not kicking anymore.
Well,
Oh, yeah, he got in some big trouble.
Who was the kicker that just hit the 70-yard in preseason? What was his name?
Oh,
It
yeah,
was
I saw
Dolphins
that.
guy.
I
Cam
saw
Little,
that
the
clip.
Jaguars kicker.
That
Yeah.
was nuts. I saw that clip.
I'm just
What
mad
a
that doesn't
beast.
actually count to the
Yeah,
record.
they said
Yeah.
it doesn't count because
'Cause
it's
it's not regular-
preseason.
Yeah.
That is
Bull.
Yeah.
stupid.
Get him out there. Get him out there in that situation in
Yeah.
the regular season.
Also,
see if he can do it.
You
just
watched the
give it to him.
video of the kick, right?
Oh yeah.
You know how much breathing room it had too?
Oh,
It's
yeah,
not like
that
it
kid went
barely
80.
just went in.
He could have hit it from further
How many
out.
fantasy points would that have gotten if he was a kicker?
I think
on
it
the
would have
team?
been
I think that-
7
Yeah.
because it was 70, right?
Yeah.
So
it
you
would have
get
been 7.
So you get 3 if you make the kick, right?
3 if it's 39 yards or under, and then it's like so it's like 40 to 49 yards would be 4 points.
Oh,
And
yeah.
how I do it with my league is I do 60 yards or more, it'd be 60. But then if there is a 70, I have it set to 7.
Oh, okay.
But it's just we've never seen it, we've never come
Oh,
close.
God, it
so
should
I
be
didn't think it would
100. I
happen.
mean,
I know.
if you break a record.
You got to win that week if that
Well,
happens.
remember-
And you have him.
What was his name? The old Raiders kicker that tried the really
Oh,
well. Janikowski.
Janikowski.
Good job. Yep.
And it was 72 yards or 3. It was something really at
He
the
had the
time
leg, man.
not even imaginable. But he kicked it way,
Yeah, but it
way
would have
off.
went probably
Yeah.
if it was straight. but-
Yeah. He had a leg on him, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I need to come up with a new team name too. I'm gonna be more appropriate this year.
Perfect.
with my
Something
team
we can
name.
share on the air.
Well,
Okay, maybe
my
not.
team name from last year I can't
No,
share.
no, but I do like that name.
I'm continuing with the like school names. So I was the new guy first year. I'm probably
Great
gonna
name.
do sophomore slump this year.
Hey, oh, that's awesome.
Hey,
Even
there we
worse.
go.
Yeah, I love that.
The teacher, Max Fritz, went from the new guy to sophomore
Sophomore
slump.
slump.
That's right.
Yep.
That's
There you
right.
go. Then by year 4, senioritis.
Yeah, basically.
I love
I got to
that.
figure out junior. I don't know what I'm going to do next year for
Yeah.
the junior year, but
I like that. That's
We'll
so
see.
funny.
We'll see if Pat O'Dowd's kid can
yeah,
Win
run
it
the
all.
table again.
Yeah.
run the table again. So, and I need to not draft Jordan Love like last year.
Brandon is joining the league this year.
I thought he was. I thought he
he
didn't
wasn't
do
in there
fantasy.
last year. Yeah, he wasn't in there last year, so he will.
I thought he
will
was
join.
against doing fantasy,
He was, but I convinced him to do it.
even though he's a degenerate gambler.
Join the dark side.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right. Well, before we go, week 1, Jackson at Parma Western, Thursday, August 28th, 7 o'clock on JTV. Max, as always, appreciate it. Thank you. Looking forward to seeing you again in a couple weeks for
You too.
football. So that's Adam. That's Max. I'm David. Thank you to the Insurance Circle Agency, and we will talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.